to confuse the public about science, to confuse scientists about science.
I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again, clusterfuck, 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 clusterfuck.
Science is back.
And I choose science over fiction. And so if the science is demonstrating it's doing great damage, then I don't care what it does to a small business person who's selling this stuff. If it is damaging lungs, if it's causing the kind of damage that is said, and that study's not been fully done yet, if it turns out that it is, then I would eliminate it. I would make it, I would go after it in a hard way. I would make it broader, not just where he is.
If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful.
In England, the Royal College of Physicians has apparently done a great deal of research on e-cigarettes, and they have actually found that compared to smoking cigarettes, the rate of damage from e-cigarettes is 5% of what it is from smoking traditional cigarettes. You're reducing the damage by 95%. Hey, I don't think vaping or e-cigarettes are good for you. But if you have to choose between smoking and vaping, I happen to feel that vaping is safer. I don't think vaping is good for you, but it's better than smoking.
We're going to choose science over fiction.
And FDA has not used that terminology to use the most recent estimates of youth use. I will say that I'm an epidemiologist by training, so I'm fully cognizant of the definition of an epidemic, which is unprecedented increases over what you'd expect at baseline. That said, I think and know that the science has shown a decline in the number of youth users, and that's a good thing.
The FDA today calling it a dangerous epidemic.
The FDA calls teen vaping an epidemic. Epidemic?
I don't care if you think I'm Satan reincarnated.
Vaping is not as harmful as smoking. Kids are kids, and there's many, many, many reasons why they choose to do different types of things.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
It's a trap.
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap.
Well, hello, and welcome to the show. I see there are people here to join us on our Friday night shenanigans. Kevin is indeed back in the back room. He's right under my finger, right there. But let's say hello to people. Mallory is here. She said, "Tag, you're it." No tag backs. And Omicidal's here. He's got his fingers crossed. And Michelle Elliott is here, and James is here, and Addie's saying hello, and he's tagging all sorts of people and hashtagging and stuff. And Michael Redfern's here, and Andrew made it early for once. He's always shows up at the last like half an hour of the show. He's actually here. So, and Toasty made it. Hello, Toasty. But it's Friday, and we got some stuff to talk about. Actually, we got some. Oh, Pip is actually here too. Pippa made it live. Yes, it's live. So there's some stuff. We're going to talk about some stuff. We got all sorts of, content that we're going to explore together. But, Kevin's been away for 2 weeks. So, we have to have our little reunion moment. So just let's go ahead and get that over with.
Oh, good Lord.
Look at him with it. What the hell, Kevin? You look like you're in a dungeon. You got the lights out. Only half of your face is visible.
Is that better?
Are you trying to hide from people? Are you in witness relocation or something?
Yes.
minimize your happy ass because I don't want to see you.
Well, that's not
really
very
there.
nice. But you still got to look at yourself to make sure that you're presentable for the
I'm literally no
audience,
prettier than I was.
our friends.
Literally no prettier than I was. And look at all the beautiful people in the room, and then there's you and me.
So, I know.
How'd it go last week?
Oh, it was fine. It was great. We had fun. Jason was here. Jason's not in the chat room for some reason, but Jason was here. Jason was a little upset that I didn't pick on him as much as I pick on you for some reason. I was like, Kevin and I, we've got the whole thing.
You got a banter thing on.
Yeah. Take a minute. It's gonna take a minute for us to met
find your step
or whatever. But I don't know. I know what your pressure points are. I can, I know what to say that will, make that vein poke out in your head. So and get you all ready to, to say nasty things about things, in general.
I could. I had a hard time. Did you see my last tweet with Dr. K?
Yes. Well, none of our tweets made it to the show notes.
I'll discuss that later with you, but I had a really good time watching some of the Cop 10 hashtag bullshit tweets and wow, what a collection of beautiful people who were tweeting about it.
Yeah, well,
what a bunch of kumquats who were also tweeting about it. But anyway, I didn't want to ruin your rhythm.
Sonia's here. Sonia.
So
you missed last week. We've been spending a little bit of time talking about Zen recently.
Yeah.
I mean, we have mentioned Zen, and last week we talked about Zen again. Well, guess who crawled out of the woodwork this week to talk about Zen and social media and harm reduction?
Well, I don't know.
Who just
I think I do, but
name somebody that you would think of that
Chuckles, of course.
That could show up and try to collect it to figure out a way to make $1 out of the situation. Just
$1. Tobacco-free kids.
No. This is an individual that has been in our sphere, and then he retired and went into to spend time with his family, and then he turned around and decided to take a position at a pharma company.
And he's Scotty
King Gottlieb.
Wow.
King Gottlieb came out on TV this week.
Oh God.
To talk about stuff. Let's watch a minute or 5.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah, let's just go right into King Gottlieb.
All right, let's turn now to Dr. Scott Gottlieb to address the health concerns about Zen. And Dr. Gottlieb, you say that at this point, the risks may be more about what the social media companies are not doing than with what Philip Morris is doing. In other words, you think that those social media platforms bear a responsibility for
Okay, so he's coming out essentially in defense of Philip Morris. I mean, that is the implication so far, just from the guest's, introduction. I just want to get this
product's growth among underaged users, and underaged in this case means 21 and younger.
Now, see, I'm seeing the Zen package in the background here, and I just want to go buy some violet licorice now. I do have a history with licorice flavored e-liquids.
Correct?
Well, that's right. I think the social media platforms could be doing much more. This is sort of an organic movement that started on social media and is being targeted to young people. And the platforms could step in to try to police and shut down some of this messaging. I know Philip Morris has reached out to some of the platforms and has gotten back form letters. We need to restart.
Okay, so he's already said he knows that Philip Morris has reached out to them and gotten form letters. So is he working for Philip Morris now?
Huh.
Okay, let's keep
the conversation around harm reduction in this country. Just picking up on your last comment.
I'm going to scroll that back a few seconds here. Yeah.
What?
Back form letters. We need to restart the conversation around harm reduction in this country. Just picking up on your last conversation. While nicotine, not a completely safe substance, isn't what causes all the death and disease from tobacco. It's the products of combustion. And we can convert more currently addicted adult smokers onto these modified risk products that don't have all the harms associated with combustion. We can achieve a net public health benefit.
Net public health benefit. Harm reduction, net public health benefit, getting people away from combustible tobacco to safer nicotine.
What?
Oh my gosh. What? Are you hearing this, Kevin?
Well, he's memorized it. I'm glad.
But again, like I said, now he's coming out. He's essentially said that he knows that Philip Morris got sent letters to the social media platforms, and he knows
how does he know
they got form letters back. That's why I'm kind of wondering, did he cash in, move his big pharma paycheck over to a big tobacco pay? I mean, I don't know.
A substantial public health benefit. There's currently 28 million Americans who still smoke cigarettes. While rates of smoking have come down in recent years, the rate of reduction has slowed. And I think the way we're going to make substantial inroads in reducing those numbers even further is trying to offer adult smokers products that don't pose the same risks as cigarettes for those who still want to enjoy satisfying levels of nicotine, but don't want to do it with all the harms that come with combusting cigarettes.
So
now I do want to take notice of the graphics that they have on screen, Kevin.
Yeah.
Do you notice that they're showing the stock value fluctuate throughout this broadcast? It's going up and down a little bit. Yeah. They're not showing graphs that show the number of smokers or the decline or increase or whatever. They're showing Philip Morris's stock value.
Of course.
Okay. All right. I just, I'm picking up little hints here and there.
Well, I guess as I trying to wrap my head around the sort of moral questions that are posed by a product like Zyn, I come to this, and I'd like to get you to help me through it. That Zyn can be a transitional product, in a sense, away from combustible smoking tobacco products towards Zyn, which is purely a nicotine product. On the other hand, can Zyn be a transitional product that leads a young user of Zyn toward a tobacco product? In other words, it could.
So now they're gonna this is the same. Oh, well, we've got to tone down what he's saying by mentioning the mysterious gateway that they've still never been able to identify.
Yeah.
But let's get him now to admit on TV. Well, I mean, theoretically, it could, maybe, might, possibly, in some strange world, not this world, not the real world, but some fictional world, it could exist.
Could it cut both ways? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we saw happen with Juul. And that's the concern around Zyn, that it will addict a new generation of young people onto nicotine, some proportion of which will migrate onto combustible tobacco.
That it's a gateway.
And set us back.
It's a gateway.
That's why, but that's why you need appropriate regulation in the marketplace and have to put these products through an appropriate series of regulatory gates. There's currently 600,000 applications pending with FDA for different tobacco products. I would be prioritizing some of these modified risk tobacco products.
He says there's 600,000 pre-market tobacco applications waiting.
How does he know that?
For FDA to, because he worked there. I don't know. But anyway, say he's correct, and he's got 600,000 applications that are still awaiting denial. That he says, I would be prioritizing some of these reduced harm products. Now,
oh God, don't tell me he's coming back.
When he was in the position to actually do that, why didn't he do it?
He chose
did not.
Because he doesn't have any balls.
When he was at FDA as the head of the CTP, he did not, or not the CTP, I'm sorry. He was the head of the table. He was Big Daddy at the table. He was the head of the FDA. Sorry, he wasn't Mitch Zeller. He was Mitch Zeller's boss.
Mm-hmm.
And at no point did he announce, we're going to prioritize these reduced harm products and get them on the market sooner. They did actually approve combustible cigarettes, new combustible cigarette products, while he was at FDA, and did not approve a single, not one reduced harm vaping, oral tobacco, snus. None of that got approved while he was in charge.
I'll quote him directly. We are going to make it harder for adults to purchase less harmful products based on beliefs. That's exactly what he said.
Yep.
To get them approved by the FDA, which would give the agency more vigorous post-market tools to make sure that the marketing and the positioning in the marketplace is appropriate and it isn't going to lead to a lot of unnecessary youth use. You're always going to have some youth use. Any youth use is too much.
So now, what did he just say? You're always going to have some youth use. Let me take that back 5 seconds or so. Let's go back 7 seconds so that you can clearly hear him.
And isn't going to lead to a lot of unnecessary youth use. You're always going to have some youth use. Any youth use is too much.
You're always going to have some youth use. Any youth use is too much. So as a shill for some big tobacco for Philip Morris, it appears. Now he's saying, well, there's always going to be some youth use. But the PMTA requires that you prove that your product will not entice young people to purchase your product. But did he know this when he was at FDA? I mean,
of course he fucking did.
Is this new knowledge that he didn't have then, Kevin?
No.
Well,
the rates right now are relatively low. I think legislators and others are right to be vigilant here to make sure this doesn't become another jewel. It's on the order of about 1.5% of youth use is of these kind of pouch products. But, there is a role for these products being marketed to adult smokers. And I think properly regulated, you can put in place restrictions that keep it out of the hands of kids. You're also going to have
So I'm wondering, in his opinion, now Zen, if he's working for Philip Morris owns Zen. Is he going to force? Because is he going to force the sale or the creation of tobacco flavored non-tobacco nicotine products? I mean, since these products are made from synthetic nicotine, they're not real nicotine. But are they going to say all the other flavors will voluntarily stop making all the flavors except for our new tobacco flavored Zen nicotine powder in a pouch product? Or is he going to say, oh, well, no, flavors are imperative now? I'm positing questions, Kevin.
Rely on the social media platforms. They need to do more. And it's not just these Zen products and tobacco products. It's also THC products that are being marketed to children as well on these.
I actually, I mentioned this just in passing. Almost every time I open a YouTube video, I get a commercial for mood cannabis products on YouTube.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean, it's not on age-restricted videos. It's on political videos. It's on, everything. So, I mean, really, he's not lying when it comes to this. And Oiler hats. Yes. But I have defeated that monster. I got the Oiler hat that I wanted. It's on its way. And I got a new New Orleans Saints hat too.
These platforms, if you go on and look at the advertising.
So that's very, I find it, it's very interesting that you point to the social media platforms as the, I don't know, I guess, not this, that's too strong a word here, but in other words, that they have been less responsible, it seems you're saying, than Philip Morris has been in.
All right, I got to stop for a second here because Kevin, you've somehow now gotten Steve brainwashed into thinking that the Sayonara Amendment is important in any way, shape, or form. Because now he's quoting it in the damn chat room.
Oh, good. Finally, somebody.
Some other idiot is now posting the Sayonara Amendment.
Well, as long as I'm the first idiot, then that's great.
It is an irrelevant nuisance topic. We should never try to bring it up because it means nothing to any of these politicians.
It's like you
start bringing up their own legislation that they passed.
Yeah,
as a weapon, they're just gonna, All right, sorry.
In trying to police or restrict the use by youth of this product, Zin.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is a relatively new phenomenon by some self-winding people on social media, some social influencers. We've seen historically the social media platforms, for example, step in to cut down.
Now, did you notice that he's calling the people that are promoting these products on social media self-winders?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Because if he's working for Philip Morris, he wants to make sure that people know that Philip Morris is not paying these people. That's why they're self-winders.
Yeah, well, gaslighting comes in a lot of forms.
And this guy we know. We have a long history with this guy.
Well, yeah.
He's the king of the gaslighting.
Crack down on the marketing of opioids years ago, and we browbeat them into doing that. They were reluctant to do that. I was at FDA at the time. They could do the same thing here. They can put in place controls that filter out these messages to children.
Sure.
I don't think Philip Morris wants this to be marketed to kids and wants to see the youth.
I don't think Philip.
What?
No,
really?
They're paying me to say. I don't think that they're trying to sell these products to kids.
No.
Throughout these messages to children. I don't think Philip Morris wants this to be marketed to kids and wants to see the youth use rise because it's going to spoil the market for adult smokers, and adults who still want to access nicotine aren't necessarily smokers, but want to enjoy nicotine.
Now he's bringing up that adults might enjoy nicotine. Holy crap!
My God, he
want to do it with products of combustion. It is, after all, legal substance, and as long as it remains a legal substance, adults are going to seek it out. Some proportion of adults will seek it out. They're better off doing it with a product like this, or even a vaping product, than a cigarette.
Oh dear God!
Oh my God! Oh, for Christ's sake! This isn't going to make me like this cocksucker any more now than it did 5 seconds ago. Fuck him.
No, but it makes me hate him even more because he knew all of this shit.
He said shit like this on Twitter 100 times. It's safer. It's blah, blah, blah.
He's on national TV.
Verbal masturbation, Patrick.
He's not on Fox News, Kevin. He's on CNBC. This is as communist a TV news channel as you can get.
It's verbal masturbation.
He's in the belly the belly of the beast. He's in the mecca of left-wing media right here. This is like the Rachel Maddow. I mean, come on.
Portion of adults will seek it out. They're better off doing it with a product like this, or even a vaping product than a cigarette, because again, it's the products of combustion, the burning, that causes all the death and disease.
So risks around Zen need to restart conversation about harm reduction. Philip Morris hasn't done anything to instigate misuse being measured in Zen promotions. Neither has any other vaping company that supposedly markets to kids. Responsibility lies with social media platforms. How about saying, hey, you know what? Parents, do your freaking job and watch your kids.
Hey, I got an idea. Let the media mogul who's fucking with these little, what are these called? Placards. Responsibility has an I in it. Just it's a pet peeve.
I'm just saying.
Response. It's responsibility, people. Responsibility.
Well, again, communist, leftist news outlet don't know how to use spell checker.
This fucker knew this in 2016. He didn't do a thing. He's not your fucking friend. Fuck off. That's how I feel.
Oh, Kevin, your hair boyfriend is in the chat room now.
My what?
Your hair boyfriend.
Fig? Yeah. Figurino?
Now, I do have to address Fig real quick, because the last time Fig was here, he was blowing off at the mouth because he was in the Rumble and I couldn't see any. Because he wasn't in the live chat, he was making comments on the video. In the comments,
I don't understand.
Not the live chat. Because afterwards, I got like notifications that there were 6 comments left on the video. And it was all Fig. He's not even smart enough to find the live chat. Just, you know.
Well, I once got a message that said, Kevin, it's 6 a.m. So maybe he's on a different time zone or something.
Maybe
That's hilarious.
Maybe he's using some of his own product.
Well, what? No. Well, whatever, Patrick.
I don't want to pick on Fig. He's my friend.
Leave him alone.
I know I shouldn't be mean. But Libe is not your friend, you fuckers. No,
none of you.
Do not believe
one of you fuckers.
Do not believe.
I love you.
I'm gonna do a quick Google real quick just to see if he's accepted a position at Philip Morris.
I did Wikipedia. I don't see it yet. At least yet.
No.
You can do your Googling all you like. I don't know. Sounds like it though. Sounds like he was inept at his job until now, is what I think.
There's no
now it's not his job.
There's no recent news pieces tying him. But everything he said in that video, he's defending the shit out of Philip Morris in that. Maybe he's applying for a job.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe he lost his job and he's looking for one. You know, I had a boss approach us about an employee after the fact of the guy fucking up, and he fucked up, and then somebody said, "Hey, he fucked up," long after he was gone. And the boss said, "You know, if you guys speak up now, I could possibly do something about it, but it's long too late." And this is exactly this same scenario. Gottlieb could have put us, people, humans, over public health, politics, and then he did not. So,
no,
worthless piece of shit.
Why? Why? Well, why do you think he would be interested in that, Kevin?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I need a rage vape.
So, let me double check and see if this is. Well, it's not a.
And leave Fig alone.
I just wanted to point out that he was freaking out in the chat room last week. That I was ignoring him, and he wasn't even in the live chat.
Ooh, Fig's got a good point.
The comments section.
He could have. It's at the very, very end, Fig. In fact, the jelly bean comment I made earlier, just before he left, he tweeted, and I have a screenshot that these wonderful jelly bean flavors here or left for my new previous predecessor who's coming in. I think it was his predecessor. I don't remember. Caliph was in there some fucking where. So there's those for you, Zippy. So flavors are important. Ha ha. That was one of the biggest fuck yous I ever saw, in my opinion. So
let's
we'll leave that alone.
Christopher Russell
released
a paper this week, Kevin.
Ooh. He's quiet, but I know who he is.
So this is in reference to the advice from former smoker e-cigarette users campaign that the FDA did. You know, the one with the lady with the you know, it was So this says advice from former smoking e-cigarette users to current smokers on how to use e-cigarettes as part of an attempt to quit smoking. That's a really Anyway, it said, let's just read the intro. Substitution of e-cigarettes for tobacco smoking has the potential to prevent almost all the harm caused by smoking. Identifying strategies that may increase smokers' capability, opportunity, and motivation to use e-cigarettes in place of tobacco cigarettes is vital. Oh, no, this is not the one I was talking about. Former smokers who have successfully used e-cigarettes to quit smoking may be especially well qualified to increase current smokers' interest in switching and ability to switch to e-cigarettes. You know, so what they're saying is that people that have already been through the journey could be helpful in getting people that are current smokers to quit smoking. Kind of like the original business model for most vape shops in the United States, Kevin. You're muted.
Who are those people that tried to do that most?
That would have been that's exactly the model that most vape shops originally started out as people who had found this technology, loved it, and said, oh my God, I'm going to help other people start their journey. And also maybe put some food on my, table. So
it's exactly why I read this. I think I sent this to you, but I read this and I thought, well, this is why I did my survey. I didn't know anybody, and I thought, well, I can help, and that's what happened.
Yeah. So it says the conclusion is that experienced vapors who used to smoke appear eager to give smokers advice and practical information about vaping that may assist attempts to switch from smoking to vaping, encouraging cigarette smokers to interact with experienced vapors in places where vapors themselves once received advice and now give advice about vaping. Vape shops and online discussion forums may have significant potential to help more smokers to switch to e-cigarettes.
Things that the public health sector doesn't want to see or hear.
Well, especially now that they've forced a lot, if not most of the small mom and pop vape shops out of business.
Yep.
Oh, so the thing that we've been saying the whole time,
leave adults alone.
Let us help these people quit smoking.
Yeah.
Now we have scientific consensus.
Yeah.
That what we've been saying the whole time is right.
Yes.
I often wonder about all these so-called smart people that a couple chuckleheads can outthink them.
It's called control.
That's kind of sad, Kevin.
Who are taking their jobs. Not even trying to.
If you go to the show notes, now this is a tweet.
Yeah.
Kevin, but this is not one of our X's or tweets or whatever you want to call it of the weeks. This is just a tweet from our friend that I felt like maybe y'all should see, maybe spread around. It's from our very good friend Nick. So if you go to the show notes, it's the second thing on the show notes. It's a tweet. It seriously has only been retweeted 13 times and only received 34 retweets. So I'm going to show it on the screen here so you guys can see it. The link is in the chat or in the show notes. And just expand the show note and click on it and retweet it. So, this is our friend Nick, and he's given a speech there at the Florida hearing on. I can't even. Is it a flavor ban or is it some sort of other non? Oh no, this is a FDA approved. I think this is one of those new bills are that they're trying to push out, or the states aren't banning, but we only want you to be able to buy FDA approved.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's what this particular. But anyway, let's just hear this.
Free Association. This bill and its sister bill in the House are a de facto flavor ban on vapor products and do absolutely nothing positive for our state or public health. This bill forces manufacturers to comply with the FDA's pre-market tobacco application or PMTA process. Millions of applications for individual products were submitted to the FDA through this PMTA process, and only 23 e-cigarette products and devices were approved. Those 23 e-cigarette products approved were big tobacco products. It is estimated that big tobacco companies have lost more than $700 billion to the vape industry over the last decade. Because of this, big tobacco themselves have been trying to get into the vape business. Big tobacco is pushing this language of the bills in Florida here, as well as more than 10 other states in our country, because they are the only ones with PMTAs, approved products. This bill is essentially a flavor ban on nicotine vape devices that would immediately force me to close and force the other 10,000 mom and pop small businesses in our state. Our own governor vetoed a flavor ban in 2020 because he recognized the devastating impact it would have on small businesses and the huge black market it would create, which none of us really want. We hope that you join us in the commitment to defending personal adult freedoms, small business, limiting government overreach, and oppose this bill. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Now we will hear from.
I often pine for Fig in his hair, but that man's awful sexy without any. I can't help it.
Oh, you're flirting with the
Nick Father, yeah.
The old bald guy. Okay.
Well, can you blame me, really?
Yes. You see, I can't even retweet that link because it's so damn long. Or not retweet, but post it in the chat because it broke it up into 2 comments.
Okay, so anybody that wants to can highlight the Twitter part. HTTP still says Twitter, by the way, not X. And then to the end where the numbers stop, the 49, go from 49 backwards to the front, and that will give you the tweet.
Oh,
you don't need all that.
What's all this other crap then?
It's a link where the reference came from, which would be you or whatever you got it from, which is Facebook.
So if I just do this, is what you're saying, that it will work because you are the X.
There you go. That should work. Now copy paste that whatever and clickety boom bitty bang.
Go give it a freaking like and a retweet. Damn it! We need to be clear when we're dealing with these Twitter tweet X posts, whatever the fuck you want to call them. A heart, does give the original tweeter X or whatever a little dopamine push.
Yeah.
But that's all the value of a heart.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of like a pat on the head.
The green retweet is not only does he get a little dopamine, but then also everybody that follows you will actually see it.
Yeah.
Versus the heart thing, which, like I said, you get a little dopamine buzz, but that's it. The retweets.
It's kind of like a firmly worded letter. The heart is a firmly worded letter.
Whereas the green thing is actually valuable. The retweet is actually valuable. The heart is worthless, really. Other than, like I said, the warm fuzzy feeling Kevin gets when you heart something that he retweets.
Yeah.
He gets a little. It's like a little hug, Kevin.
I imagine my grandson 20 years from now is going to count the number of likes I've had on Twitter. That's what's going to happen, right?
Well,
fuck.
Elon said, "Go fuck yourself." So
that's right.
It may not actually exist. It may, Yes, and Fig is also throwing some knowledge down. If you bookmark it, it also bookmark it. Do that too,
Sonia. See,
do that too.
I'm an Xer in Texas. Look, she's an Xer in Texas.
Yeah, an Xer. So, well, Elon said that he's moving all. He's moving all of his businesses out of California and moving them. The corporate headquarters is now going to be in Texas for Tesla and X, so that he can get the tax incentives.
Yeah.
And, the California tax or business punishments, I guess.
Yeah.
The opposite of incentives.
There you go. And for the record, when you do the X Twitter thing, sometimes on the heart, I've used it to, like, for instance, the rodent will tweet something, but I don't have the moment to indulge myself into that tweet or whatever. I'll like it. I'll leave it. I can go to my own likes and find it and go, okay, now I can make a better
now you
statement.
can why don't you just bookmark it?
So sometimes, because I don't want 57,000.
But you can delete it out of bookmarks once you've done whatever it is that you're going to do.
You can unheart it too, for all I care. But then I usually just leave it. But it's my system. Fuck off.
Two birds with one stone.
Tell me what to do.
I'm trying to streamline your whole thing. Yeah. So apparently, Kev.
I love appearance.
Your First Amendment right to free speech, has been like taken from you.
Well, mine and others. It's not just me.
Well, but there's an example of yours.
Yeah.
Now the only reason that this again is a tweet, but it is not in the tweet of the week. Tweet of the week.
Very disappointed you didn't comment on this before now, though. All right.
Well, I mean, I've been busy, man. I have a job. I have things to do.
Shit to do. So, explain something to me.
I'm gonna throw it here. I'm throwing up here on the screen here, Kevin.
You're allegedly a smart guy. You know the amendments. You
allegedly
constitutional shit. I don't know nothing. A government person on their own private account can do anything they want.
Yeah,
I understand that. But a government agency and anybody, stupid enough to take their social media account and become chargeable of it doesn't have the right to shut me up. Is that what I'm gathering thus far?
From what I understand of the social media space and the First Amendment is that official government outlets, social media accounts, are not supposedly allowed to block people.
Nor can they, and people may or may not know this, delete tweets because it's destroying government property.
Well, but we do actually have precedent for this, though, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
When a certain orangutan was president of the United States, they did remove his tweets, even some of his POTUS tweets from the official POTUS Twitter. The government actually deleted some of the president's tweets.
Mm-mm-mm.
And then the owners of the platform removed the president of the United States' ability to do that. And Fig says, but if you're the Secret Service, you can delete text and destroy cell phones. Or if you're the Secretary of State, you can actually smash cell phones with a hammer and cause a purposeful failure of your secret internet server in your basement.
That's right. Jason Dead is more important, by the way.
Yeah. So Richard tweets or posts hiding replies. Why? Because we are trying to help. So there is a feature on the X that shows these are hidden replies.
It's the X. Yeah.
Hidden replies. And CDC Tobacco Free, which is indeed a government entity, has hidden your replies, Kevin.
Mine and others. Now,
one of yours and apparently Richard's tweets in this screenshot.
Yeah. So go to his. Is that part of the tweet there? Okay. So click on Dick. Yeah, that one. Not them. That one. Okay. Go drop down 3 spots. That doesn't show it.
Richard, Michael, Charlie. And now it's here. It's not. It's unhidden now, Kevin.
What?
Your tweet is now unhidden.
What? No freaking way.
Oh, so they get called out.
Way they did. I'm gonna make sure because I wanted to show everybody the hide tweet part, and it's not there anymore.
Oh, I have to address. This is actually something I know about.
Okay.
So Fig is saying that he, speaking of Putin, I'm disappointed that Tucker didn't bust his chops about the Russia flavor ban. Now, we discussed an article on this show maybe a month and a half ago, Kevin.
Yeah.
A little while ago, where it specifically quoted the Russian government by saying that they were no longer going to they were not going to limit safer nicotine products to its citizens. So I don't know if there is or is not a flavor ban, but they specifically said that they would not be removing even a communist or not. Well, they're not really an oligarchical, tyrannical, despotic government is recognizing harm reduction and saying that they would not remove choices from their citizens. There's a tweet. I did a tweet like a month and a half ago about it. I don't remember. There is a link on my tweet though if you want to go through my timeline.
I just verified it on my
unhidden
side.
You are unhidden, Kevin.
Holy shit!
So
I was pretty fucking pissed about it, and I don't know if it was I don't remember who it was. There was a few people. Dale was one of them. Michael, I think, was one of them. Anybody that's in America has their, along with everybody else, of course, but in America, First Amendment is kind of important, and they unfucking hit them. I suggested that they do so. I suggested with the ACLU. I suggested, well, hell, like you said a couple of weeks ago, if somebody wants to lay down the money for the lawsuit, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll take this. I'll take it because I don't like it, and you can't do that. Why are you doing that, you cocksuckers?
Yeah. So I'm just I see that apparently your tweet about the First Amendment.
Well, there's a few. I wasn't overly being a smartass, but yeah, I was being a smartass.
But apparently they saw that they had been caught.
We got to be fucking caught.
That's all. And look, caught hiding replies, so they had to unhide your replies, Kevin.
This is an example, and I can't see it because I made it smaller. This is an example from 2015, literally, that their $200 million at that time flop of a campaign to help people stop smoking. I didn't say boo. I didn't say shit. I didn't have it. You can see replying to CDC. That's all I put. I only did that on purpose. I didn't say you guys suck. I didn't say shit. But they hid that. Why would they hide it? They're not allowed to hide it, obviously, since they unhid it.
Well,
Is that
they
a word?
they
Unhid?
did, but then you shined a flashlight on it, and suddenly,
right. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna delete that tweet, and then I'm
no,
no,
you
not
wanna,
this one.
You want to save it and then take a screenshot of the unbanned, so that you can say, "Hey, look what I did! I pulled their pants down," and they.
Well, I didn't say decided to unhide. I want to use stop censoring the American public. I would prefer to rephrase my new tweet. So not very often do I delete a tweet. Typos stand. I don't care about that so much, but
I do.
All I know is if I have something to say, you don't have to listen to me. That's all. You can turn the channel, change the sound. You can turn it up. You can turn it down. I had a lot more to say than that. I've said 100 things to CDC.
Yeah,
at least.
So,
and some twit over there thought, well, I'm going to hide that fucker, and others, including Richard. So that one worked me up pretty good.
It was a little bit longer ago.
Yeah.
Then it was actually in November that the Russian health ministry said that they were opposing a ban on flavors.
And Fig, are you talking about the Supreme Court freedom of speech social media stuff that Dale sent me? There's a regulation about to be decreed in 24.
He's talking about the Russian stuff.
Oh.
That's just a continuation of his comment about Tucker.
Did he admit that in public, Jason?
about Tucker. I didn't. I will admit I'm interested in watching the interview, but I have not sat down to watch what Putin and Tucker talked about. I imagine at some point I will maybe sit down and watch it. I heard it was like 2 hours or something, so I don't know if I want to budget 2 hours of my time for that. But.
So for them to undelete a tweet, or unhide, or whatever that's called, stop concealing a tweet, that had to go through some kind of a channel. That's good. Somebody got on somebody's fucking nerves. Good. Do that. Keep doing that.
All right, this one. I think you'll get. You might not get a kick out of this one, but let's see.
Fucking mind.
It is from the New York Post, Kevin. So it's you're gonna love the headline right away. Just it says here, Ohio teen felt like he was in a dream after beating a 60-year-old teacher unconscious after hitting vape.
Oh my God, I missed this one.
He felt like he was in a dream.
Did he?
Yeah. So it says here, Ohio prosecutors are demanding that a Cincinnati teen be charged as an adult for beating a 60-year-old female teacher unconscious last month as police released disturbing new body cam footage from the incident. And there's my hat. Yes, Jason, there's my hat right there. Officials said the 15-year-old assailant repeatedly punched the special education teacher in the head after taking a hit from a vape in a school bathroom and ingesting an unknown drug.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's the vape, not the unknown drug, that made him feel like he was in a dream and maybe caused him to beat somebody into a coma. Couldn't possibly be the drug. Has to be the vape.
Well, it has to be.
New body cam footage shows police interviewing the attacker inside the school after the January 4th incident. I think I'm in a dream, the student stated repeatedly. Am I in a dream? At another point, he tells a teacher attempting to restrain him that he needs a hug and insists that he's not crazy.
Well, hugs are good.
Maybe yeah. Despite his age, prosecutors are hoping that a Cincinnati judge will try the teen's case as an adult due to the severity of the injuries sustained in the attack. Well, I think the writer of this article should probably seek professional help, especially when selecting the headline. I mean, again, two chuckleheads can point out the error in their logic just by reading a few paragraphs in and finding out that he took some unknown drug. But it has to be not the unknown. It's not the drug's fault. It's the vape's fault. The veteran educator's head trauma was so severe from the repeated blows that surgeons removed her skull cap to relieve pressure. So they had to do a craniotomy.
Wow.
So she had some brain swelling. Yeah. That is so weird when you see one, Kevin, because a lot of times they don't, it says skull cap, but normally they just remove like a little square about this big out of the skull on this, like over here. And then they'll close you. And then you walk around for a while with a dent in your head, like a little square dent. And every time I have a patient that has that, I seriously have to fight the urge to go over and go bing, 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 bing. I'm not saying that I'm not totally sane here, but just I want to feel the squishy. I want to.
It's like touching Fig's hair, isn't it? Yeah. See, huh?
No. There's a big difference between touching another man's hair and wanting to feel what a brain feels like.
You're just jealous.
She remained unconscious for several days after the operation and is continuing to recuperate, her family has said. According to an incident report, the teen suddenly attacked another classmate who was working on a computer, prompting the teacher to tell him that she would have to call security. She said she was going to call security or call the police, and I started punching. He can be heard telling an officer while holding the hand of an unknown staffer. So, okay, Kev, you're the staffer. You're the unknown staffer in this situation.
Yeah.
And this kid has just beaten, at the time, you might think that woman is dead because he has beaten her unconscious.
Well, yeah. Of course.
And you're going to come over and willingly hold his hand while he's talking to police?
No.
I mean, the student said, or the teen said, he was glitching during the incident and later began hitting himself in the head in an attempt to wake up from the drug-induced episode. After students told investigators that he told them he had taken some edibles the day of the assault, the body cam footage shows officers discussing a sweet strawberry vaping device that was taken from the student. Again, couldn't possibly be the drugs. I mean, if it's THC edibles, I can't believe that a THC edible would cause somebody to go into a homicidal rage. I'm no expert on THC, but in my experience, the people that I know that are on THC do not go into homicidal rages. Normally, they're too lazy to get off the fucking couch. So, I don't know. Kevin, why is your name only a period?
Well, because.
Are you on your period?
No. You didn't even know I disappeared, did you?
I heard you beep. That's why when you reappeared, okay, I hit the button right away.
Gotcha.
It beeped. It went beep.
My computer just said there's whatever the file.
Oh, now look at him glitching. Bye, Fig. He's gonna miss you because he's over there glitching with the little spinny clock thing. Oh, and then he's gone. So anyway, His attorney, Clyde Bennett, told reporters after the attack that his client wasn't conscious of his actions at the time. This young man is not the young men. This young man is not like the young men that are causing problems in the community, Bennett told WLWT. This young man from a great family has no criminal record and basically consumed vape and didn't know drugs was in it, and it precipitated or facilitated his conduct thereafter. So he should not be treated like other individuals you see in the news wreaking havoc in the community. So again, even his dumbass attorney is going to ignore the fact that he was witnessed taking something, and he admitted to his classmates that he had taken an edible earlier. But it's the vape, Kev.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I'm not even going to read the rest of this. It's just ridiculous. I'm not doing it. Yeah, Meaty Bites over in the Rumble said the kid is making excuses to garner sympathy from gullible adults, doesn't want to take accountability for his actions. I 100% agree, and the vast majority of idiots out there are willing, Kevin, to, soft-heartedly, soft-mush-brainedly console and soothe a child where this child actually needs to be, reformed.
I don't understand.
Instead of actually, going to, labor camp. I think we should bring back labor camps, Kevin.
That was silly question. Was that a special needs school?
It was a special needs teacher.
Teacher,
is what
okay,
it said.
All right.
It didn't say that the student was special needs. It just said that it was a special needs teacher.
Yeah. Well, it was the vape. It's the damn vape.
Had to be the vape. Couldn't be.
That's what the problem is with you, Pastor.
Combination of the edible that he took and whatever secondary drug that he was witness taking. Had to be the vape, Kevin. How many times have you gone into a homicidal rage after taking a hit from a vape?
On Twitter almost every day.
So many you can't even count, Kevin.
Hundreds.
Your murderous rages.
I've gone off on a tangent or two on Twitter, so much so that it's been noted. Hey, you're getting a little pissed off, aren't you? Yes, absolutely, I am.
Yeah. So, James, that was a bad joke.
What?
She is now. ... Too early.
Oh.
See?
Good night, Figgy.
Yeah. You already missed him. He went to dinner. He said it's supper
see.
time.
I know. It just said there's a problem. It blopped off, and I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, you're
new tonight.
Speaking of special needs,
that's right.
New tonight. February is National Heart Health Month. NBC5 reporter Natalie Cerna joins us live in studio.
Thanks, Jenna. Today I spoke with a local medical expert on how this common addiction affects your heart.
A local medical expert. Are you ready with your firmly worded letter, Kevin? I have a feeling you're going to need to write, or you're going to feel the desire to write a firmly worded letter after this.
We know how detrimental smoking is to heart health, but what about vaping? I spoke with Dr. Mona McCardle, the Chief Medical Officer at Valley Immediate Care. She says nicotine has many effects on heart health, which include a rise in heart rate and blood pressure, and can even damage vessels of the heart over time.
Vaping, you're burning a liquid, and it puts...
You're burning a liquid,
Kevin. God, first thing out of
into
your fucking
bloodstream
mouth.
by inhaling the nicotine. And for most of the heart effects, it's the nicotine that is directly altering what the heart does.
It's not
Patrick.
just the nicotine you need to worry about.
Patrick, God, I don't want to make this show go on all goddamn night. She's a doctor, is that correct?
Dr. Mona McCardle.
Doctor.
Chief Medical Officer at Valley Immediate Care. So she's a doctor at a strip mall doctor's clinic.
And behind her, there are on her "I Love Me" wall, there is at least one diploma that's
University
probably
of Utah.
I held college kids over here at the University of Dayton, and you should not be proud of your children if they went there. But she went allegedly to school to learn to be smart. So she's smarticles, like me and Logan. He's smarticles and Daddy's farticles.
You know, the sad fact of the matter is, Kevin.
What?
I
know you do. I Love Me wall. You do. I know.
I have 3 of those, and I don't even know where they are.
Good, even better.
I have scans of them, so when I apply for a job, I can include them with my resume. I don't know where the originals are. My mom has them probably.
That was my NRA certificate on 9/11 of 20 something. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't have any certificates.
She has a degree or 2. She looks like she might have 2, unless that's just an I Love Me plaque.
She has her pre-med. She has her bachelor's degree. And
she does not understand what combustion and carbon monoxide will do to the heart. It's just nicotine. I want everybody to be clear that this educated idiot doesn't understand that. And 2 chuckleheads.
She's talking about the combustion of e-liquid.
Burning
of e-liquid. Well, that's what combustion, you know, there is. She's not talking about cigarettes. So there is no carbon monoxide that, you know, and none of that. She's just talking about vaping. So let's just replay her.
Oh my God.
Lies.
By inhaling the nicotine. And for most of the heart effects, it's the nicotine that is directly altering what the heart does.
It's not just the nicotine you need to worry about. Dr. Mercado says your vape could be cut with additional chemicals that lead to lung problems and may make your heart work.
Cut. Your vape could be cut. Like it's like cocaine that has to be cut.
This isn't news. This is not what. Oh my God.
Over time as a result.
Specifically for vaping, you have the nicotine, which we do know a fair amount about, but there's also all these other chemicals in the vape material that are not just pure nicotine. So it's not just the nicotine delivery device.
No, it's all the bullshit
it's not
you
just the nicotine, it's the PG
that dribbles out of your mouth.
That we have a century of research on.
Although McCardle says that vaping may be less harmful than cigarettes,
maybe
sweet flavored vapes attract children who perhaps otherwise wouldn't have been exposed to the addictive effects of nicotine. Dr. McCardle says that since e-cigarettes are relatively new, we will have to wait to see studies on lifelong effects.
You know,
relatively
new shit is getting old. It's old. It's so old that I've been hearing it for at least 10 years.
I've been hearing it for like 14 years. It's so new that we don't know. We don't know, Kevin, because it's new.
God. You know, this is similar in my opinion of me having dial-up and 3.1 Windows, and you and I having a conversation about me doing this show with you, and me saying, well, geez, Patrick, I don't know what to do. I've got 3.1 Windows and a dial-up modem. It's 54K or whatever they were. And then you say, you know, Kev, there's a better way. You can actually go digital and do. Yep. Well, I don't know, Patrick. That's too new for me. We just don't know enough. I don't think it's safe. In fact, what about bugs and stuff and viruses?
Fiber optics, Kevin.
Oh.
Well, here. Let's talk about some firmly worded letters, Kevin.
I think your agenda is every week to go, yeah, this one will rile him up, and then we'll do. Yeah, this one. Wittman, who's Wittman?
Well, it says Wittman. This is from the Henrico Citizen, by the way.
Well, there's a strongly worded letter coming.
Urges FDA to crack down on illegal vaping products from China.
Yeah.
Two lawmakers, including Representative Rob Wittman, he's a Republican from Virginia 01, District 1, sent a letter to the FDA Wednesday urging the agency to crack down on illegal vaping products from China. Whitman and Representative Raja Krishnamurthy,
of course,
who is a Democrat from Illinois District 8, wrote that more than half of all vaping products sold in the United States are e-cigarettes and related accessories, which are imported from China. A recent joint federal operation resulted in the seizure of more than 1.4 million units of illegal e-cigarettes in December, which is probably a tenth of the number that came in that month. But Whitman and Krishnamurthy wrote that much more needs to be done. So not only they're saying that 2 letters were sent,
well,
it's one letter with both of their signatures on it, Kevin. These morons can't even write 2 letters. They get all their staff together and they say, we need a letter, boys and girls, and they have to. It's like the monkeys in the fucking room typing until they come up with Shakespeare.
How much of our taxpayer dollars has this taken up?
Well, this was probably 2 full days of staff time to write one letter. According to the lawmakers, a recent study found that among youngsters who reported e-cigarette use, more than 1 in 4 used e-cigarettes daily.
That's a lie.
That is a big ass fucking lie.
It's a lie. Period.
That is. They're saying that 25%. 25%, Kevin.
Right.
Can you find me the CDC National Youth Tobacco Survey numbers that say 25%? I'll wait while you can't find them because the fucking CDC numbers do not say that.
Nope. They sure don't.
What is the other one? Looking into the future or whatever that one's called. That one also monitoring the future also does not say 25%.
No.
So
they sure do want it to, though.
I think we should get our representatives, our politicians, to pass a bill that would create it to make it a criminal offense for a representative of an elected representative to tell a lie in the media. If we catch you misrepresenting the truth in an interview, brainwashing and misinforming the public, you're going to get a 30-day. You're going to get a 30-day stay in the Who Scout. I think I'm gonna tweet or X at Ted Cruz. Because he's my representative. I'm gonna X Rand Paul and Ted Cruz tonight. Say, I think it's time for you to pass legislation that would make it a crime for an elected representative in the federal government to tell a lie in an interview and misrepresent the truth.
They can't. No, that's impossible.
Now, who will retweet that? If I create that tweet, who will retweet it? I mean, this is a blatant, easily disprovable lie.
One of 1,000.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they can keep doing it. They're immune to persecution or whatever. And nobody cares. See, Mallory, we're going to run out of kids eventually.
All right.
We really are. And while you're typing, I'm going to say, did you see that? The government agency, CDC Tobacco Free, has decided to stop censoring the public on this tweet and is no longer restricting and censoring free speech in direct violation of your First Amendment. I think that sounds pretty good. Assholes.
No, I need the senator.
Mallory's team Patrick.
I know it's a senatorial. It's got to be senator. Senator. Crew. Oh, damn it.
No, put Ted Cruz first.
There it is.
Right there.
And see, I did Rand Paul, but there were so many
Yep.
There were so many what's the word? Parody.
Mm-hmm.
Parody ones that I couldn't be sure that it was going to be the real one, because look at all these different Rand Paul ones, and he's if I do senator,
well, there's hundreds of them.
See,
that's not him.
No,
I think his is Rand. I think his is actually Rand Paul.
Well, and I saw one for Rand Paul, but it didn't look like it would. It looked kind of. It didn't have a.
Let me see here.
It didn't have the respectable look here. Let me open another window so I can just look at Rand Paul.
It'll be it's at Rand Paul.
Okay, just Rand Paul. All right.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, he's got the check and all that happy shit. I've got him.
All right, because these are the two crazy guys that'll do stuff like this.
Good night, Sonia. Restricting your freedom of speech. Tangent. I didn't even know they did.
Should I? Huh?
I didn't even know they restricted my speech. Phil pointed that out because he's a good rodent and I love him. And then Dale, I think Raj was in that too. I think he was restricted at one point.
Why am I getting an underline?
Because you spelled it wrong. Well, no, you didn't. No, that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, kids, was one more point where Patrick was wrong. And it got fixed. The poor fig's eating his supper. Unbeknownst to him. And Addie, you may have been one of them that was censored as well. I don't know. I forget.
Simple lies that can be proven wrong with a simple Google search. Period. See, I just spelled criminalize wrong, but it fixed me.
Fixed you. Really, you're broken and nothing can, but okay.
Yeah. No.
Oh, just pointing it out.
Mm-hmm.
They unhid their tweets, Patrick.
I told you.
You showed that to me live. I didn't even know.
I know.
That's the power of social media, evidently. Maybe. I can't believe that I'm assuming it's an intern or some dumbass doing their Twitter feed, but I don't understand how they can.
It doesn't.
I like your.
Oh, I don't need a period there. That's not the
You
end of
need
my sentence.
You need a comma after a complex.
Well, like, so
Google.
Not yeah. See, look, boom.
Yeah, Google has to be
So
yeah.
Yeah. See,
I don't care about that part.
That's why I have the spell fixie thingy.
You don't need me no more. See. Just get Jason and he'll be fine. It'll be all right. Temporary Kevin. Poor guy.
No, he was Kevin, not Kevin.
Kevin, not Kevin. That's
yes,
right.
that.
Was that it? Yeah. That was his moniker for the evening. Gottlieb.
See, now it's trying to tell me who. I think I gotta go prove that whose cow is spelled that way.
It took the line away. It's time we. Unnecessary word, sir.
No, whose cow is an important word because that.
No, that THAT. It's time we pass legislation.
How about two?
Oh, okay. All right. That's even just as fine.
Whose cow?
Whose cow?
Oh. No, it's not house.
It's slang. It doesn't
change.
like it.
It's not a slang. It's just like a misrep. So Addie's telling me that it's at Sen Ron Paul.
Oh,
the Rand Paul.
Maybe he does have more than one.
Well, normally the ones that say Sen or Rep.
I imagine that he's right.
I would not. I would bet money that he is correct.
Yep, that's his other. Yeah, that's his official one for.
That's the one I want, though. I want the
yep.
Sen.
Thank you, Addie.
Yeah. So at Sen, yeah, Rand Paul.
There was a clown convention in Panama, by the way. Did you hear about it?
Mm. Is that the one where the guy shot the protesters? Because I really liked that one.
I don't know. That was like months ago, wasn't it?
So are we happy with the language of this tweet?
Yeah,
because I want as many retweets as possible for this. Because not only about the lies about harm reduction, and the lies about tweet, and the lies about all. We'll get to COP 10. Don't worry, Addie. It's at the end.
That's
you
the
have the show
show
notes. You can see it's at the bottom.
Leave Addie alone.
He's always jumping ahead.
He's faithful.
He wants his own show. I'm gonna make Addie. I'm gonna make Addie do his own show. So, because if it was actually a crime for this lying guy here,
well, sure.
Both Krishnamurti and him wrote a letter with lies in it, and then it was published in the media. So we could now put them in the Who's Cow for 30 days for telling a lie.
Yeah.
Because that is a simple, easy to prove misrepresentation of the truth, which is called a lie. Yes.
Pretty much.
That is a lie. Not even a little lie. It's a big fucking lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So according to the lawmakers, a recent study found that where is the study? found
There
that
isn't
more than
one.
1 in 4 use e-cigarettes daily in 2023, and more than a third reported using e-cigarettes at least 20 days in a month.
Uh-huh.
Now, in any of the National Youth Tobacco Survey, the Monitoring the Future, any of the national like surveillance of smoking or vaping organizations, whatever you want to call it, do any of them that you're aware of have a separate separate category for daily and 20 out of the last 30 days?
They didn't, and now they do. But that's not how it's worded, Patrick. It's designed for you and I, as chuckleheads, not to be able to decipher it. And that's why
I don't recall ever seeing 20 days in a month.
Yeah, they've had
most of them say once in the last 30 days.
They do once, and then I think it's 10, and then it's 20, and then it's 30. Daily. I'm sorry, I forgot daily. Daily,
yeah.
Because they weren't using daily.
But I've never seen
not.
this 20 days bullshit. I've never seen this before.
We went through this with Jerry. It's better to use 30 days for potential problems. See, that's why.
Yeah.
It's better to use that.
So 9 out of 10 users preferred flavored e-cigarettes, with 56% of users using the most popular reported brand, Elf Bar, which is made and illegally imported from the People's Republic of China.
Right. Yeah.
The lawmakers wrote that the FDA has not issued a ruling requiring foreign manufacturing registration as contemplated in the Tobacco Control Act. They asked the agency to explain why this is not an issue, why it has not issued a rule.
Blah, blah.
And it says here, the agency appears to have missed its December of 2023 deadline for finalizing review of large market share, electronic cigarette delivery, blah, 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 applications. When will FDA come into compliance with the court order and finalize and review these applications? So Wittman and Krishnamurthy are demanding action on FDA to comply with the court.
Right.
Now, you may not remember this, Kevin, but FDA recently lost a case.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, well, we're going to deny him anyway.
Yeah.
We're not going to comply with the Supreme Court's ruling. So what makes you think that they're going to like prioritize a lower court? Because
they're not.
This decision that they're talking about was not in the Supreme Court. It was in a district court.
Right.
So if they're going to ignore the Supreme Court and they're going to blatantly say in an interview or in a statement
that we don't care
to the media, we're going to just deny. We're going to, we're not going to follow.
That doesn't
this.
apply to me.
What makes you think that they're going to care about what you say or what the Supreme Court of the United States says or what a district or regional federal court says?
Yeah, we don't care. So overall, to assess this article, there's truth in it, but it's deceptive. It's extremely deceptive because they can use those numbers and then just word it however they want to because it's all in the wording. So the truth lies within the lie. You just don't know how to find it because I was stunned and just scratching my little chucklehead head for probably a year or two. And I'm like, these numbers don't make any sense to me. And then I'm assuming Juca or Vapers UK, an article I found in there or something was like, wait, or Clive, somebody broke them down. And then I went, oh, and people like Charlie do that. And I go, oh, to myself, Jesus, I wasn't wrong. I just didn't know how to figure it out. Because now you got the youth, monitoring the youth survey.
Monitoring the future.
Yeah. And then you got the other one. And then you got a third one,
survey.
National. And then I think there's a third one. And they all come out at different times. They all say 3 different things. And they all just go, blah, 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 blah. And the public goes, oh, the children.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Kevin, the CDC for monitoring the future, or not monitoring the future, the National Youth Tobacco Survey.
Yep.
They randomly select like one school here, one school over there, one school over there. They hand out surveys where dumb brats are going to say whatever they think is cool because they're anonymous.
They don't randomly select shit.
And then they take those surveys and they check the results, and then they magnify, they multiply that by the percentage that this group represents of the total.
Yeah.
And then
extrapolates. That's right. Bring it up.
Extrapolates, they put that in a thing, and then they multiply and blah, blah, blah. They got a formula.
Let me ask you, stop right there. Where do they do these, Patrick? Can you give me one city? Just give me a city or a state.
I actually remember when I was in school.
Yeah.
100 million years ago doing one of these.
All right. So Texas.
No, I didn't go to school in Texas. I went to school in Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi.
So I tried to find that out quite a few years ago. Where did they do these? And I asked Dave. And Dave said basically what I thought. He confirmed high risk areas, lower incomes, big cities, right?
They
don't, right.
I went to the poor school because I was a poor kid. So yeah.
Is it a matter of national security that I can't find out where they put these surveys? Why can't I find that?
You might seek retribution.
For what?
For these brats.
To what? So the government does this, I don't know, covert bullshit story, and then they extrapolate it to the general public. That's how I learned the word extrapolation. I was like, what the hell is
I don't like that word because it's too much like strap on.
I hate to give you flashbacks. Sorry. I'm sorry. But why, Patrick? Because that's.
But you actually want them to poll every child in America?
Why can't they? Today? Why can't they?
Well, it still would cost money.
What are they spending now?
I mean, think about all the Scantrons that they would have to
think about all the kids. Yeah. Think of the children, would you?
Think about the Scantrons, Kevin.
How fucking hard is it to add that to the end of the SATs every year? How hard would it be? Hey, by the way, kids, you're gonna have to. You don't have to study for this.
Even Michelle Elliott says that she did them every year at a Lutheran school.
Every year.
And see, I went to Catholic school in New Orleans, so there.
Every year. Okay, Michelle, I don't know New Orleans. Is that a high risk area, bad area? Is that good area?
Parts of it are. Well, most of it is.
Okay. But you're not in the the white bread suburb of wherever where kids also can.
Even if you go across the river to go to Metairie, it's also high risk there too.
Okay.
I mean, the Slidell, that's also.
Well, Gottlieb just said all kids could do it. Every kid of every race, nationality, color, creed, and they're all susceptible, if you will, to temptation. But when you're specifically trying to catch the true answer to the American public, you're going to go to the worst areas of town.
Well, yes, Kevin.
But you're not going to tell anybody. But then you're going to portray that the best areas of town are the exact same. And that doesn't give you a true answer.
Exactly. Do you actually think that they want?
Exactly.
Kevin, do you actually think that they want the truth to be represented?
No.
So then why are you exasperated? You look exasperated. You're red. You're red. You're red in the face, and you haven't adjusted your color. So I know that this is
just pisses me because the public believes it, and then the senators can write their firmly worded letters and put it into the public domain.
Yeah. So okay. So we just did a story of 2 American politicians writing firmly worded letters to the FDA. Okay. So here, just to prove that this is not just here, Kevin.
Yeah.
Here's a politician in the UK writing a firmly worded letter to Parliament. The government must not bow down to the industry pressure on smoking and vaping. Big Tobacco will try its hardest to prevent the ban on disposable vapes and the reduction of legal smoking age.
What? What? Legal smoke? What?
Yes, and the reduction of the legal smoking.
They're never going to reduce the legal smoking age once they raise it.
But Big Tobacco is trying its hardest to ban those elf bars that they don't make.
Right. Well.
Last week, we reached another milestone towards creating a smoke-free generation and tackling youth vaping when the government published its response to its recent consultation. The headlines have focused on the proposed ban on disposable vapes. But while the accessibility of vapes to children and young people and their impact on the environment is clearly a serious problem, I am as, if not more, concerned with ensuring that the proposed raise in the age of sale of cigarettes goes ahead. Smoking kills at least 64,000 people in the UK every year and causes untold harm to thousands of others through ill health and diseases, including stillbirths, lung disease, heart disease, stroke, dementia, and is responsible for a quarter of cancer deaths in the UK. As well as causing harm to individuals, smoking also injures those around them through the effects of passive smoking and costs the UK roughly 20.5 billion pounds per year through health and social care services, premature death, and reduced productivity and employment. Kevin, did you see dementia?
Yeah, of course.
Did you see dementia?
Yep.
See, if he was in America, we could punish him by putting him in 30 days in the hoose cow because smoking doesn't cause dementia.
Well,
the truth is that most people who smoke wish they had never started, but because the tobacco industry specifically targets children and young people, they start young, quickly becoming addicted, and then find it incredibly hard to quit. In fact, over 80% of smokers started before they turned 20. The reason this legislation is so significant is because by gradually raising the age of sale, future generations of children and young people will be protected from ever having the choice to make a choice for themselves.
Right.
Oh, no. Ever becoming addicted in the... Okay, yeah.
It's what's best for you. We know.
Yeah. Kevin, what if they said we're going to ban coffee for anyone born after or before, born after 1950?
That'll never happen, Patrick.
It's just a what if, Kevin.
Ever. Well, there's too many people that like it.
Right.
Too many Karens walking around with a little latte, farte, whatever, coca, mocha, choca, whatever the fuck they call it.
It's the pumpkin spice latte, Kevin.
And I don't care if you guys like it.
The place that I buy my coffee now has a snickerdoodle coffee, Kevin.
Okay, then we'll have fun with that. That's what I think. But I think there would be an uproar of a gazillion people.
Because there's a gazillion people that love coffee.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically harmless substance that does the exact same thing that nicotine does. That's what it is.
If Mallory hated coffee.
Yeah. Well, she could.
Mallory would not celebrate your inability to have coffee.
No, I don't believe she would. I do. In fact, I believe she would probably try to get it to me.
Now,
that's what I believe.
Now, people that don't smoke or who have never used nicotine, they celebrate when your choice has been removed from you.
Yes.
Because those evil big tobacco people brainwashed you, Kevin.
Yes.
It
In
has nothing
fact,
to do with whether you enjoyed the experience or not.
No.
Has everything to do with the fact that you are a flunky for big tobacco.
That's right.
You have been brainwashed, and we
Mhm.
have to help you see the error of your ways.
In a private electronic conversation, there seemed to be some scariness over somebody being able to get nicotine and flavors.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, how do I get it to you? Because this ain't going to happen. We can't let that happen. And then I was assured that they were okay, but they don't like, they don't like their situation. Right.
So I am currently beta testing a new liquid called Dominican Colombian.
You illegal criminal ass.
This is two of my favorite things in one, Kevin. This is a coffee cigar.
See, look, Mallory likes me better. She likes you right there. I see it. There it is.
She didn't say that. She just said that she would help you find a coffee bear.
It's implied.
And help create a black market.
Calm down. It's implied.
She didn't say I love you more. Don't put
I didn't
words
say
in
she loved
Mallory's
me
mouth.
more. I said she liked me more.
But Dominican Colombian, Kevin. It's a Dominican cigar with Colombian coffee.
You're a criminal.
It has only been
You're manufacturing a tobacco product without the proper approval.
It's not been steeping long enough to open it yet, but it does. I have opened it. It smells very good. It smells kind of like a cigar and coffee.
See,
I'm really interested.
Cuban cigars were illegal for quite some time. Are they still?
No, they're not illegal anymore. The blockade, the only thing that Obama did properly as a president was remove the blockade so that I could buy Cuban cigars.
But Patrick, while they were in at one time illegal, could you, because you're a cigar guy, could you have gotten a hold of any?
I did get a hold of many.
Oh, well, imagine motherfucking that. So there you go. I don't even care how, and it doesn't matter to me.
I was placed on a government watch list for a short amount of time for
your ability to obtain an illegal product. You remember the jarts thing?
Yes.
Okay, I have a box. I don't think they're jarts, but they're very similar. And sadly, I think a kid died, or some children did die because they're dangerous. Duh.
Well, they were injured. I don't know that anybody died, but
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm talking.
I do recall hearing stories of somebody getting, hit in the leg with a lawn dart.
But you can't actually sell those. But I have some.
I do.
So there you go.
I think if you go to eBay, you can find them. I recently watched a video. Actually, yesterday I watched a video on YouTube because I was bored, and it was how did Gen X kids survive?
Well, I don't know.
And it was a younger person today, a millennial or a Zer or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
Watching a video of the things that we used to do as children because we didn't have the internet, which meant that we had to go outside. And that since our parents told us to get the hell out of the house and don't come back until the street lights come on, we were left to our own devices. So
it was actually a cowbell.
They showed a photograph of a kid jumping a ramp on his bicycle, which was just a plank of wood and a couple cinder blocks with 5 other kids laid down in front of the ramp.
I didn't do that, but I did do jumps. Yeah.
Oh shit, we did that. We jumped over our, the lawn darts was also shown on the thing, and jumping over the sprinkler in the yard before they had the invention of the slip and slide.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, we didn't have the slip and slide, but we did have a sprinkler. So my parents were not watching us, and we put the sprinkler in the front yard, and we jumped over the sprinkler. So many of us, there was like 15 neighborhood kids jumping over the sprinkler that we ended up with a big mud pit front yard.
Well, yeah.
And
Right.
my parents came home. My dad came home from work and saw that we had been sliding, jump over the sprinkler and then slide, that we had torn up all the grass and created a mudslide right in the front yard. Today the kids they won't even go outside to participate in this a slip and slide if you could find an actual slip and slide.
No.
But
Well, it's not illegal for me to possess my jarts or whatever they're called, but it is illegal to sell.
Well,
anyway, just like the Cuban cigar, somebody found a way to get to it, and you knew of or could get your own, and I appreciate
I knew a perfectly professional tobacconist in Sweden who would order a box and put it in another box with a moisture pack and
put electronic parts on it, right? TV parts. Anyway, to answer your question, people would lose their friggin' minds. That's what would happen. That's all I know. I certainly would.
Yeah.
But I bet you because we're the 0.0000001% of the people bitching about nicotine and safer alternatives, there'd be a gazillion people bitching about caffeine bans. A billion.
Okay, I found your jarts.
Yeah, that ain't the right box, but yeah, it's. I think it may be an off-brand. I'd have to find it to do it.
But they're only $15.
But those are not the originals.
Those are the vintage ones with the pointy ends. They have
Sign
lawn darts
only.
now. They have line
Sign
darts
only.
I know. I'm just fucking with you. They have. I should get They have a metal sign. They have lawn darts now that have blunt rounded edges,
plastic and rubber. When I looked them up years ago, they would sell like $300 or $400, but eBay would take the link away because you'd look at the sold section and and you'd click on it like you did there. It was gone. This has been deleted. This has been censored or whatever. Anyway, so. I don't think they're illegal to own. They're just illegal to sell.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about the Cuban cigars anyway.
No. You just got to find it in the Philippines. They still at the time you could go to a cigar shop in the Philippines and buy a box because it was only America that was embargoing Cuban cigars. You could buy them in other countries. I have friends that were in Canada that would go on vacation to Cuba and buy boxes of Cuban cigars.
Well, sure, of course.
And since they didn't have to go through an American airport, they could bring them home.
Yeah.
Look at Nick. Nick shows up after we're done talking about him.
I am old.
Showing his video.
I was man crushing on you earlier, Nick.
He said that he wanted to rub your bald head, is what he said.
That's right.
He said he was no longer in love with Fig's hair because
that's not what I said.
Yes, here. Let's just show the video again.
This bill and its sister bill in the House are a de facto flavor ban on vapor products and do absolutely nothing positive for our state or public health. This bill forces manufacturers to comply with the FDA's pre-market tobacco application or PMTA process.
And then just get banned, their products, their applications denied en masse for a fatal flaw.
That's right.
For a fatal flaw that I predicted 3 years before it happened, and everybody called me crazy. Right. We have proof. I was kicked out of a PMTA group on Facebook because I told them what was going to happen, and some neckbeard that opened a compliance company told me I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Some high school dropout that has never, ever, ever gotten a product approved somehow told me I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. But anyway, yeah, this is the new type of model legislation that is being pushed in multiple states right now, by the way, not just Florida, that only products that are approved can be sold, which would mean every mom and pop vape shop in any state that passes this type of stuff would either A, have to close, or B, start selling Kratom and other BS products that are, I mean, Jason is a fucking mortician. He was on the show last week and said, I saw my first Kratom related death certificate. If you're using that crap, it's going to hurt you, if not kill you. I'm sorry. It is an unproven Chinese substance that has caused two people that I know to be hospitalized, and one person that Jason, embalmed, apparently dead. So I'm hoping that if Nick has to change his coffee and vape shop to something else, 21 states are pushing this bullshit, and they're gonna kill small businesses. They're gonna lose money. It's gonna. I mean, Nick hit it on the head on his speech. He said how many businesses are gonna they're gonna lose in their state, how much tax revenue they're gonna lose in their state. These are important arguments that we need to make to these silly ass bills. Plus the fact, Nick didn't mention this. Plus the fact the FDA system is so flawed, they've lost in court now, and the Supreme Court has said that the FDA has to review all these applications on the grounds of the science, and they're not doing it. So, and we have FDA people saying to the media, well, we're not gonna change the way we do things. We're just gonna deny all these applications the way we've been doing it. So we have FDA already admitting that their system is flawed, it's fucked up, and they're gonna do whatever they want to do. It's corrupt as hell. And then you have Florida and 21 or 20 other states, because Florida is one of the 21, 20 other states saying, well, we want to follow the FDA on this, and we're only going to allow these products that they've approved, even though we hate big tobacco. Every product that's been approved has been a big tobacco product. And again, I've used the Enjoy. It's not horrible. It has promised to help smokers. The Enjoy product does.
Yeah.
But there still should be other things, because not everybody can be like me and make a Dominican coffee e-liquid, Nick. The Dominican cigar and Colombian coffee. Anywho, I just, I paused Nick. Sorry, I didn't mean to pause Nick.
Millions of applications for individual products were submitted to the FDA through this PMTA process, and only 23 e-cigarette products and devices were approved. Those 23 e-cigarette products approved were big tobacco products. It is estimated that big tobacco companies have lost more than $700 billion to the vape industry over the last decade. Because of this, big tobacco themselves have been trying to get into the vape business. Big tobacco is pushing this language of the bills in Florida here, as well as more than 10 other states in our country, because they are the only ones with PMTAs, approved products. This bill is essentially a flavor ban on nicotine vape devices and would immediately force me to close and force the other 10,000 mom and pop small businesses in our state. Our own governor vetoed a flavor ban in 2020 because he recognized the devastating impact it would have on small businesses and the huge black market it would create, which none of us really want. We hope that you join us in the commitment to defending personal adult freedoms, small business, limiting government overreach, and oppose this bill. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
He so fucking nailed it, whether he's in the room or not, doesn't matter. Fucking nailed it at the end. Just nailed it.
Personal freedom, liberty, and Florida man.
I mean,
all the Florida men in Florida just got a Woody. I mean, I'm just saying.
and one guy in Ohio. Oh, well, I can't help it.
I recently bought a CD from a blues guitar player who has a song called Florida Man. I invite you to, after the show, not during the show, to go to YouTube and type in Florida Man music video and watch the music video for Florida Man. Just saying. I know that Nick is not technically a Florida man. He's from in one of the boroughs up in New York.
New Yorker.
So, he's not quite as crazy as the.
I met Nick here.
Florida man.
You know that, right?
Huh?
I did meet Nick here.
I have met Nick somewhere at several events. No, he was at the VTA conference, and I've been him at events. Yeah.
Him and Dean.
He was at the event where James Jarvis got on stage and cried like a baby twice.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go.
And since Jarvis isn't around, I'm going to make fun of him again.
What's well noted, and you guys all know it, is that we have some beautiful fucking humans in this industry still fighting. So
on the inside, many of them are not beautiful on the outside, but on the inside.
Oh,
yeah.
Calm down.
So it says here, vaping is a more complicated issue. The government are absolutely right to act. Disposable vapes are both far more affordable and accessible to children and are having a damaging impact on the environment. They are,
hey,
however,
Patrick, what so far has been approved by the FDA? Those are all disposables, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Unflavored, tobacco flavored, no menthol flavored, disposable big tobacco vape products.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this moron. Let's scroll up here for a second, Kevin.
Moron alert.
Oh, is it this one? Yes, this moron thinks that big tobacco is going to spend money and time defending Elf Bar.
Put him on the screen.
What happened? Did it go off screen? Yeah.
I don't know.
These morons think that this is a UK moron. This is not an American politician moron. This moron thinks that big tobacco is going to waste money and time defending Elf Bar.
Oh, fuck.
That ain't happening.
That's just whack-a-mole for them. They don't care about these fucking people. They don't. And they're still here.
Yeah.
One's gonna
As the chief medical officer, Chris Whitty says, if you smoke, vaping is much safer. If you don't smoke, don't vape. Well,
fuck off.
So here's the thing, though. People start smoking for a reason. Most people start smoking for a reason. Now, we've talked about how smoking has helped or did help me, Kevin, and many other people cope with stressful situations in their lives. I'm sure that when Nick Orlando was using his billy club and beating people on the sidewalk in New York as a police officer.
Conjecture, fucker. Leave him alone.
After he got done putting the cuffs on his perps, he needed to de-stress by smoking a cigarette. I'm just messing with you.
Stop it. Look, before you even don't you keep snickering for a second. If you say the words, if you don't do it now, don't start, you have no idea what your freedom is. Stop saying that.
Again, this is the UK, Kevin. Their definition of freedom is not the same as ours.
Yeah, you just
they don't have the freedom of speech that we have. Their court systems, you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. Yeah. Whereas here, the burden is on the government to prove that I'm guilty.
Here's what I want. I want you to leave somebody else alone. Their choice is their choice.
Yeah.
Just that's it.
But I'm telling you, if you're under stress and somebody hands you a fucking cigarette, you throw the cigarette down and ask for a vape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can. You're allowed.
No, not if. I mean, their whole idea is that nicotine doesn't have any benefits. I mean, even Gottlieb, the dumbass at the beginning of the show, who apparently has a secret paid position at PMI because he's defending the fuck out of PMI in that video.
Nicotine and all of its propaganda is literally propaganda, because if they admit that they've lied for however many years it's been, since at least the 80s, then they have to go, well, we were wrong. And none of them want to do that. So this will never happen, or it'll have to happen on a global scale all at once.
So Nick says this is a racist bill. As far as I'm concerned, any bill that bans a safer alternative product is a racist bill, because we have all the proof in the world that we need that shows that people in poor communities and black and brown communities, those are the ones where the smoking rates are the highest.
Are you talking about the menthol or smoking?
No, he's saying that this FDA bullshit is a racist bill. I mean, any restriction on a safer nicotine product is automatically going to be considered a racist bill, in my opinion, just because the statistics show smoking is higher in the poor, in the black and brown communities. And the Center for Black Equity, we showed the article where they were fighting the menthol ban because it targets the products that
it does.
People in that community like the most.
Funny they twist it to sound like it's not, but it is.
Oh well, no, we're here to help them by taking away the thing that they like the most. That's gonna help them the most. So
they did that during the Tuskegee experiment too.
We've never, Kevin. We've never done anything like that.
You fuck. I didn't know about that, honestly, until Charlie mentioned it, and I was like, holy fucking shit. And then the CDC director's like, that's too bad, you stupid bitch.
You didn't know about the Tuskegee experiments until we had Charlie on the show?
I don't remember hearing of that.
I learned that in school, in the sixth grade.
I don't think I did. I really, I must have been stoned at the time.
In Mississippi.
Well, I'm in Massachusetts and Ohio. I don't know.
That must be the Mississippi of the North.
It's selective teaching, though. They don't tell us all kinds of stuff.
Well, I think if you've been paying any attention to the education system over the past couple of years and all the news stories, you have to realize that all education is selective education now, Kevin.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So anyway, we showed one firmly worded letter to the FDA from two dumbass politicians in the United States who only have a fleeting understanding of the truth, which sparked me creating a tweet asking Rand Paul and Ted Cruz to pass or to author legislation that would criminalize politicians telling lies in the media. I think, I hope that thing, actually gets some action. I want some people to say, hey, damn it, you're right. But I've only gotten 4 reposts, Kevin. I'm a little sad
I'm not on there at the moment.
That my tweet to Senator Rand Paul and Ted Cruz hasn't gotten any legs yet.
The best crafted tweets will be unnoticed. Believe me.
That is true. That is true.
Oh, I've cried myself to sleep a few times over that.
So West Virginia has passed. Actually, I don't dislike this one so much. But here, let's show this. I don't hate this one as much.
Nick, your record is like 30-0, isn't it?
They may have caught up to Texas finally.
He'll tell me. I know he will if he's still awake.
I'm watching the thing spin around. I am a sore loser, he says.
46
now.
46.
I don't even know. I don't know what Texas count is anymore. I haven't talked to Shell in so long.
46.
I don't even know what's going on in Texas anymore.
Think of the man hours
We
and the power of 46 times going to court multiple times, multiple meetings, multiple fucking, oh my God.
All right. Now
I'm in awe.
This is West Virginia. Look, there's an ad for fucking hats again. See? They're just popping me everywhere.
E-cigarettes or vaping is for schools and families all across the region. So now lawmakers in one state are moving legislation to make getting vapes harder to come by. News Channel 3's Curtis Johnson tells us about the proposal and how it won support even more.
Now that's a fucking Kraken. There was a person vaping a Kraken. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. It's an atomizer. I have
keeping
one.
Vapes away from your children. West Virginia delegates with a near unanimous vote to do just that. A vote one maker and father of teenage girls takes personal. His family, he says, having struggled with underage vaping, like so many others in West Virginia.
I'm going to do whatever I can, and no matter what I can, to get these products out of our kids' hands.
Tuesday's vote to require stores by law to check IDs on vape purchases, verifying one's age with a buyer's driver's license, passport, military card, or other government identification.
See, I don't have a problem with that. I think vape shops should have been voluntarily doing this for a long time.
Is there some kind of loophole that they didn't have to since it now has become a tobacco product federally? They should have already been doing what they're going to be told to do? I'm confused.
Well, I mean, right now, you can card somebody and visually look at it, right?
Hello. Yeah.
But now you're going to have an ID swipe.
I find nothing wrong with that.
For the purchase of tobacco products. So in a convenience store or at the grocery store, if you're going to a big chain convenience store or a big chain grocery store here in Texas, HEB or the Valero Stripes or whatever, they swipe your ID when you buy tobacco products because they built it into their point of service.
Yeah.
So now it appears that West Virginia is going to require similar thing before the sale can be finalized, which I think we should have been doing. It is a little bit of an expense for your shop to buy this, to add that, because it's just an add-on to your system, to your POS.
It's a very good investment.
So that way, not only because in Texas, if you check somebody's ID visually and don't scan their card, you do not have an active defense, which means that you don't have. If somebody says you sold to a minor, you don't have any way to actively defend against that.
This
makes computer records. You can say, "Look, I scan every our POS doesn't even work. You can't complete a sale without an ID scan."
This makes it idiot proof. Period.
Yes, it makes it Kevin proof.
That's right. There you go.
The proposal sponsored by Nicholas County delegate Heather Tolley. She says current law is not clear on if a store must check your ID. Her proposal removes that uncertainty. How will this piece of legislation protect kids?
Number one, it lets them know that they can't go down to the corner store and buy this without an ID. And so hopefully it will be a deterrent in that factor. And I think it really just elevates some of the concerns that we have as healthcare providers regarding the risks of the health risks of vapes.
The proposal would increase fines for those in violation from $250 for first offense to a maximum $5,000 for a fourth offense. Every instance within years of the initial conviction. Yet one discrepancy remains. What age can one buy vaping products? Federal law says 21. West Virginia law, 18. Delegate Wayne Clark.
So it's fucking 21. That's not confusing at all. Federal law trumps state law. even West Virginia hillbillies, because I was born in West Virginia, even we're smart enough to figure that out. There's no confusion. West Virginia doesn't need to waste time passing legislation. It's fucking 21. I mean, if you want to show, your constituents that you're doing something, which most of the states that are doing this are just, I mean, T21 is federal. That's it's it. There's no loophole that prevents or that allows an 18-year-old to go into a vape shop or a convenience store in West Virginia and buy a fucking vape.
Mm-hmm.
It's T21. So,
and Nick, humor me for a second. What is inexpensive to you, you more than recoup in possible fines and silliness with the local, state, and federal. I'm assuming from that point of sale, expense.
So
how it's worded, but
Nick is agreeing with me. They should be passing other legislation that actually needs attention, versus wasting time pushing for a T21 bill when it's fucking federal.
All they got to do is
T21.
say, "Oh, us too." That's all they got to do.
I mean,
a free add-on. Look at that.
He says it's a free add-on. See,
jeez.
Has introduced separate legislation to raise West Virginia's age to 21. That proposal waits action in Tolley's committee. She says its progress remains uncertain in the House.
It's a personal liberty question, and so I know that their body may be a little bit more divided on that, at what age is it appropriate, what age is considered an adult. And so I would rather keep the focus on checking the IDs and making sure that we are verifying the IDs for sales rather than splitting the body on, the semantics of should it be 18 or 21.
I get both arguments. How we come across it or how we fix it, I have no clue.
Delegate Tolley's legislation to check IDs now moves to the state Senate. Curtis Johnson, WSAZ News Channel 3, Charleston.
So, Patrick, let me ask you a question.
Yes, answer or ask.
Well,
I will answer.
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Let's pretend for a second. This is that fantasy bullshit you were doing earlier. Let's just pretend for a second. The federal government says, you know what, we were wrong. Let's put it back to 18. Would you have a problem with that?
No.
Good. That's all I needed to know. Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
I mean, my argument has always been, if I can at 18, if I can go to a bank and borrow money, if I can apply for and get a credit card, if I can sign up for the military and give them 5 years of my life where I could possibly be sent to a place where somebody would shoot me and kill me.
Pornhub. Don't forget Pornhub.
I can ruin my future.
That's right. There you go.
By borrowing too much money that I can't pay back. I can ruin my future by using a credit card and not paying it back. I can ruin my future by getting killed in a foreign country.
Exactly. Nick just nailed exactly what I've been trying to figure out how to say forever.
What, a military carve out?
Country with a carve out for the kids. That's what it is now. Either way,
the military kids, but again, those are 18-year-olds that have decided that, possibly to be sent over to the Ukraine at some point in the future.
But Patrick,
and
they're
shot at by Russians.
Developed. Their brains are not developed yet. What does that tell you?
No, not until they're 25, apparently.
Right. So why wouldn't it be 25?
Well, but now we have the same idiot legislators that are saying that nicotine damages the developing brains of young adults.
Yeah,
because they haven't fully concrete. They're still neuroplastic and not fully formed until they're 25. Are arguing
you can vote.
It's the same idiots that are arguing that 15-year-olds should be able to vote,
but they can vote. all I'm saying is, and we've covered this animal before, is the age of majority is 18 in the United States. The voting age was 21 at one point, right?
Not that I remember. Not in my lifetime.
Well, not in our lifetime, I don't think, but it went from 21 to.
Well, I mean, Kevin, if we're going to talk about voting rights, I mean, up until the early 1900s, women couldn't vote.
Correct. Right.
Before that, only people that owned land could vote. somewhere in the middle there, black people couldn't vote. So, I mean, if we're going to use a time machine and go back,
we were both alive. The 26th Amendment was 1971.
Yeah, but I wasn't.
You were when you were born.
1972.
Oh fuck. Oh my god.
Dumbass.
You're still a baby, aren't you?
Speaking of babies, let's talk about Marco Rubio. This guy's a fucking idiot. I hate this guy. I really do. And at one point when he was running for president, I might have saw him and go, you know what? He's not as dumb as I thought. No, he's as dumb as I think he is.
Right.
Yeah. And you know,
yes, Michelle.
Nick,
yes.
Like this guy.
No, it's not.
Why is he showing up in 2024 with a press release talking about Chinese vaping? This should have been a topic that this moron should have jumped on a long time ago.
Yeah.
It says here, Rubio, the FDA is blowing smoke when it comes to Chinese vapes. Chinese companies have taken advantage of the U.S. FDA's lax enforcement by flooding the U.S. market with illegal vape products. The vast majority of Chinese vapes are not FDA approved. None of them are. Or regulated. As a result, millions of Americans are consuming untested, dangerous vaping products. U.S. Senator Marco Rubio, this is on his website, and he still has to point out.
No such thing as bad publicity, Patrick. Really.
U.S. Senator Marco Rubio sent a firmly worded letter, to the FDA Commissioner Robert Califf, criticizing the FDA's lack of effective enforcement against Chinese companies selling illegal vapes to Americans. Law-abiding American companies wait years, spend millions of dollars, and comply with strict restrictions on flavors and marketing orders. Blah 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 blah.
We don't claim him. Quote, we don't claim him.
Meanwhile, so he's talking about millions of law-abiding American companies. The British American Tobacco is a British American. It's British, right? Altria. Does that sound like an American company? Altria?
I thought they were German. I don't know.
They're foreign of some sort. They're
had no
red,
idea.
white, and blue. They don't bleed red, white, and blue, Kevin. So the only companies that have waited years and spent millions of dollars to comply with strict restrictions on flavors and marketing in order to gain FDA approval are big tobacco. He's defending big tobacco, Kevin.
Yes. It's the Cigarette Protection Act.
How dare these Chinese people create an identical product to the FDA, to the ones that the big tobacco companies make? How dare they?
Yep.
Make a disposable vaping product that is exactly like the ones.
It's not going to happen.
How dare they? So here's the full text of the letter. I'm not reading this nonsense. This guy's jumping on the bandwagon because he saw that Krishnamurthy and that Wittman guy wrote a fucking letter to the FDA. So he's like, I'm going to write a letter too.
Yeah.
Now, as a he wasn't a Tea Party candidate, but as a young Republican, you think he would have been on this topic for a while, defending small mom and pop businesses. But no, he's got his nose so far up big tobacco's ass that it's only when their market share is threatened that he gives a damn.
Mm-hmm.
You can quote me on that.
I can. Good.
You're allowed. You have my permission. Oh man, you're gonna hate this one, Kevin.
Am I?
You're gonna hate it.
Well,
you're gonna hate it. This is from Hawaii. This is a Hawaii story.
Yeah.
What the hell? What the hell? There it goes. It was taking too long.
All right.
For my share screen thingy to pop up so that I could hit share. It says Pahoa student 12 found unresponsive after vaping. Police. See, there's my hat again.
Yep.
A 12-year-old student at Pahoa High, an intermediate. That one is the exact hat right there. That one, yeah. Was found unresponsive on campus and taken to a hospital Tuesday after vaping. Hawaii Island police say. Police said that shortly after 10 a.m., staff alerted a school resource officer that an unresponsive female student at a school bench or on a school bench. The officer, oh yeah, I bought that hat too. The officer immediately responded and observed the student who was unresponsive to verbal and physical stimuli. The police report said, as a precautionary measure, the officer administered a single dose of naloxone, commonly known as Narcan, to the student. It had little effect as she remained unresponsive, but was breathing. Paramedics responded and took the girl to Hilo Medical Center, where she was treated and scheduled to be released later in the day. Students at the school provided conflicting statements to officers. However, it was reported that the 12-year-old female may have vaped just prior to going unresponsive, the police report said. Toxicology results are pending, police said. So the headline says,
right,
Pahoa student 12 found unresponsive after vaping, police say.
Yep.
When down here at the bottom of the article, it says she may have vaped.
We don't know.
May have vaped. Conflicting report or conflicting statements to officers. It was reported that the 12-year-old female may have vaped. But the headline doesn't say may. The headline says that she dropped dead after vaping.
Propaganda.
This is really annoys the shit out of me, Kevin.
Well, at least her lungs are okay for that one, Nick. That'll help you settle a little. Her lungs didn't explode.
The last two pieces. Oh no, shit, Kevin. You know what? I forgot something.
All right.
I forgot something. Vamp for a minute. Talk to the people.
Vamp for a minute. Hey, did you know the CDC that they stopped hiding tweets, Nick? They hid one of my tweets, and now they stopped hiding my tweets and your tweets and everybody else's tweets because First Amendment and all, freedom of speech.
Well,
they were infringing upon my freedom, and now they don't. Evidently,
yeah, they're still going to infringe on your freedom, Kevin.
Oh, I was pissed.
So, do you know, Kevin? Do you know what time it is?
Is it really? Don't tease.
No, it's that time.
It's time for the VAPES of the week.
Wow. So in our effort to be Zinsurrectionist, Kevin.
Insurrectionist.
We are participating in the Zinsurrection.
I'm a freedomsurrectionist.
It says Tristan here says, I will just note that the British BC, which is British Columbia government, thinks that tobacco companies are a wretched hive of scum and villainy, while the makers of opioids are awesome chaps who deserve our trust, acclaim, and tax dollars.
Oh, that's well worded. I like that.
Because they banned Zin this week, apparently, Kevin.
Well, Tristan, I appreciate your twist on the English language.
So there were two very similar tweets, Kevin. I couldn't decide which one I liked more. So you're going to see another one. This is from the National Post of British Columbia. First reading, BC takes a break from handing out free opioids to crack down on nicotine pouches.
Well, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then our friend David Robinson, he says, I don't use nicotine pouches, but I'd prefer people use these to crack or fentanyl.
There you go.
Interesting that they want to restrict drug usage, but only nicotine. What's next? Coffee?
Yay! Not your fucking mouth.
So this is a retweet. It says British Columbia Premier. That's, anytime I hear like the leader of a government called a premier, I always think of communist Russia for some reason. Because that was what they, when they were the USSR, Gorbachev was the premier of the Soviet Union, right?
Yep.
So anytime I hear the word premier, I immediately think of communist Russia for some reason. But now British Columbia, on the other hand, they have a premier as well. So they're restricting the sale of nicotine pouches.
Yeah.
In British Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then to just run the hat trick here, Kevin.
Yeah.
British Columbia bans nicotine pouches, but allows the distribution of fentanyl to children. How on earth does this make sense? It's definitely not common sense. And this is from Dr. Stephen Ellis. So you have to go to a pharmacy to buy a nicotine pouch, apparently.
People have lost their fucking minds.
Right. So then, Kevin, you sent a tweet.
I sent a tweet, technically nominated by the cranky old broad. Wasn't even my tweet. I was so enamored with the people with the Cop 10 tweets. Like I could not decide on an X tweet, Vape Cat's tweet of the week. I couldn't.
Yeah.
And she sent that like 3 or 4 hours before I was going to try to find one. And I was like, well, that's better than I could do right there.
So Dr. F says,
yes,
we will fight fanaticism and ignorance with science and evidence-based recommendations. We are dedicated to supporting the fundamental human right to access to harm reduction for all people.
Yes.
Damn straight, Dr. F.
And he quote tweeted his own tweet.
Well, you can do that.
Just
He
so
says,
you
this
know.
is the Secretary of the of Health of Spain, a delegate at COP 10. He is advertising a campaign by the the Spanish Association Against Cancer with an image full of lies and misinformation. This is a new low in public health, shameful and a disgrace. And if you look, it is a fake e-cigarette called Cancer Flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I saw several people posting that bullshit this week myself.
Yeah. So thank you, Skip.
Yeah.
So technically I put it in, but she actually nominated it. And I thought it was one of the best ones we've had. And it just so happens it's Dr. F, who we love. So
and to go back onto this was not included in the show notes, but I saw this at the last minute, and it's not a brand new article, but it is from Jacob Greer at Slate, who has periodically said intelligent things. So this says what the consumer doesn't understand about Zen. So it says, I regret to inform you that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson have a point about those viral nicotine pouches. So I don't know what Marjorie said, but obviously we know that I've said it on the show. I've seen Tucker Carlson on podcast, praising Zen pouches. So at a press conference last week, Senator Chuck Schumer called on federal agencies to investigate and crack down on Zen. So now if you tell a federal agency to investigate something, that would be okay. That's allowing them to investigate. But what he's saying is investigate and ignore anything that you find that's positive and just crack down.
Yeah.
an oral nicotine product that most Americans have never used and likely never heard of. One might not have expected this seemingly niche topic to get much attention, but the issue lit up the very online right. This calls for a Zinsurrection. Republican Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene posted on X. Fellow Georgia Rep Mike Collins posted a meme riffing on the "Come and Take It" flag, a symbol of Texas Revolution, replacing the iconic cannon with the word Zin. Conservative commentator Tucker Carlson is an enthusiastic user of nicotine pouches, gushed on a podcast last year that using Zin is like the hand of God reaching down and massaging your central nervous system. I need to find that quote. I'm gonna have to find that if I can sound like that. In a video posted in December, he ecstatically welcomed a giant Zin container delivered to his yard by helicopter. I think we showed that on the show.
We showed that.
Superficially, this might seem like just another dumb culture war among the terminally online, who anything from Keurig coffee makers to Taylor Swift can become a symbol of political polarization. But the stakes of tobacco policy matter for the rest of us too, particularly for the health of people who smoke and for the 2024 elections. It deserves to be taken seriously, and as much as liberals and progressives may be loath to admit it, right-wing posters defending the freedom of adults' right to use Zin have the better of the argument. Let's back up a little. Zin is a brand of oral nicotine pouches that was introduced to the United States in 2014 by the company Swedish Match, which was purchased by Philip Morris. What? Introduced. What? They were not authorized.
Oh, they were not authorized. I thought they were.
Zin. Now, snus, Swedish Match's snus were authorized.
Okay, that's what
Zin was not authorized because at the time it was not considered a tobacco product in 2014 when they came to America. Yeah. The pouches contain nicotine derived from tobacco plants but are otherwise tobacco-free. They come in a variety of flavors, including tobacco. That answers my question from earlier in the show, as well as options like mint and cinnamon. We know for a fact that they have something called lavender licorice and coffee because our very good friend enjoys the coffee flavor. Though it has recently gained popularity, Zin represents a small fraction of the market for nicotine products. 2021 figures from the CDC estimate the number of American adults using all types of oral tobacco products, not just Zin, to be around 5 million. By comparison, there are more than 10 million Americans that vape and nearly 30 million Americans that smoke cigarettes. So nicotine pouches are a very small segment. Nicotine pouches are relatively novel tobacco or a novel product, but are a close analog to snus, a form of oral tobacco with a much longer history in Scandinavia. The experience in Sweden, which has taken a liberal approach to snus, is extremely encouraging when it comes to public health. Snus has largely displaced far deadly cigarettes, especially among men, but we know for a fact that many Swedish women use them. Sweden has the lowest prevalence of smoking in all of Europe. The country boasts correspondingly positive outcomes in health, with Europe's lowest rates of lung cancer deaths and the lowest rates of death among men, and from all causes attributed to smoking than peer countries in Western Europe. Yeah, so Sweden achieved these results despite the fact that many Swedes continue to use nicotine. They just switched to consuming in ways that are far safer than lighting them on cigarettes. So I just saw this and it was like, hey, there's somebody that's actually using their fucking brain. So let's talk about that for a second.
All I know is we're in some kind of weird alternate world where we allow the government to say, well, cigarettes, that's fine. Now these are safer, but we don't like them. And in Sweden, they went, well, fuck that. And the consumer clearly said, these are I like these. These will work.
Well, I mean, I don't want to die, and I want my.
This will do the
nicotine,
same
so
thing
let's do
that does without all the silliness and the craziness and the scariness and the whatever it is. Then the consumer wins. The human wins, right? Now, if you got a 7-year-old who decides to try that, he's going to probably get a buzz off those little snooze pouches, I imagine. But
well, we did see a guy last week.
Smoking.
The video you missed the video. There was a guy last week that said that he tried a Zen, and he got sick and was vomiting because he picked the highest nicotine that was available for, and he's a non-smoker.
Okay. Well, uninformed or misinformed or whatever, but
right. So, I mean, even if
that'll learn you,
that's better. And obviously, why would you go for the highest nicotine content if you're a non-smoker?
Because he didn't know any better.
It seems stupid to me.
He didn't know any better, or he had a way to get his 15 minutes of fame. I don't know.
So I at one point I had thought about going to Panama for the cop thing, and then I messed up my leg, and then they postponed it, so we didn't go. And there's a lot of coverage on the
that's a lot.
The YouTubes to watch if you want to. Regulator Watch was there.
Yep.
So instead of going and finding clips and stuff of that, I just go watch it on their channels. But I do have two perspectives on COP from friends of ours, either friends on Twitter or friends that have actually been on the show, that we can read. And the first one is from Clive.
Yes.
So this is from Mina FN. This is a South African, I think, or I don't know. I don't know what this is. But anyway, I found it. On the sidelines of the 10th Conference of the Parties, one of the authors of the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control criticizes the WHO, describing its data as misleading. So Dr. Clive Bates, the former director of Action on Smoking and Health UK, and a key figure in the development of the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, as well as the founder of the Framework Convention Alliance, now Global Alliance for Tobacco Control, strongly criticized the World Health Organization. He accused the organization of relying on misleading data that, if acted upon, would do more harm than good. Dr. Bates' attack on the WHO coincides with the launch of the 10th Conference of the Parties to the WHO Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, which is currently taking place in Panama and will continue until February 9th. Bates commented on the WHO's conference agenda, expressing his concern over the organization's focus on the fact that 8 million deaths occur annually, with smoking or secondhand smoke being the primary cause, 99.4%. However, he believes that the WHO missed an opportunity to address smoking by promoting the switch to safer, smoke-free tobacco and nicotine products. He added that the WHO wrongly portrays these products as a threat. He explained that the first paper by the WHO attempts to distort tobacco policy by using a false definition to misclassify heated tobacco products as smoked tobacco products. Additionally, he classified the heated tobacco aerosol as smoke, despite the fact that smoke is a product of combustion. On the contrary, heated tobacco products do not involve combustion when operated or operating as intended, and are chemically, qualitatively, and quantitatively distinct from traditional cigarettes. He continued to explain, excuse me. Albert, did you see that Nick and James are leaving? Did you see that?
I know.
That hurts my feelings.
That's what feelings are for.
Yeah. He continued to explain that the second paper also has multiple defects. For instance, it discusses the insufficient evidence that proves that these products are less harmful than others. While it is true that the level of some harmful chemicals in the aerosols produced by alternative tobacco products is lower than in cigarette smoke, harm reduction products emissions generally contain far less compounds than tobacco smoke. On average, they exhibit a 90% reduction in harmful chemicals. Bates emphasized that this issue was examined in court in Germany in 2021 and in 2020 or in Sweden in 2022. The courts have concluded that heated tobacco products should not be classified as traditional smoking products. Additionally, he highlighted that transitioning to alternative tobacco products can greatly reduce the health risks associated with smoking. This reduction in health risk forms the basis for the U.S. FDA's authorization of these products in the markets. He has clarified that the WHO primarily dismisses the claim that most of the studies that have conducted by tobacco product companies. However, simply dismissing this evidence is unscientific and either naive or cynical. It is important to emphasize that the WHO and tobacco control activists have played a role in denying millions of smokers access to potentially life-saving, low-risk alternative cigarettes. This has been achieved through prohibition, regulation, misinformation, despite the lack of scientific or ethical justification for such actions. So that's
Clive.
That's Clive. And then very good friend of the show, our Kiwi from New York. Is going to be kicking ass in this piece here. This is Nancy. You remember Nancy? Nancy's been on the show.
Oh.
She's our Kiwi from New York.
That's right.
So the Coalition of Asia Pacific Harm Reduction Advocates, CAFRA, has called on the WHO and the FCTC to develop a more transparent, open, and evidence-based approach to tobacco harm reduction. This demand comes in light of the upcoming Conference of the Parties in Panama, where governments will discuss global strategies to address the tobacco epidemic, said Nancy Lucas, executive coordinator of CAFRA. CAFRA's critique aligns with the insights of Clive Bates, a renowned tobacco control expert, who has highlighted the WHO's counterproductive stance on safer nicotine alternatives, such as vaping and heated tobacco products. Bates argues that the WHO's approach, which often leads towards prohibition, inadvertently protects the cigarette trade, fosters black markets, and prolongs the epidemic of smoking-related diseases. CAFRA emphasizes the need for the WHO and the FCTC to engage with all stakeholders, including consumer groups, and to consider the full spectrum of scientific evidence when formulating policies, said Lucas. We believe that the focus should be on reducing the harm caused by smoked tobacco, which is the primary contributor to tobacco-related health issues. CAFRA also calls for webcasting and public access to the entire COP10 meeting to ensure transparency and accountability. We know that they don't like that. They won't allow media to be in the room. They don't allow any stakeholders from the vaping industry or the heated not burn industry. They just don't let anybody in there. Interested parties, consumers, you're not allowed to be there. And they don't allow any coverage. The positions adopted by delegates and observers should be open for all to see, fostering a more inclusive and evidence-driven dialogue, said Lucas. In the spirit of the 20th century or the 20th anniversary of the adoption of the FCTC, CAFRA advocates for a reevaluation of the treaty's approach to tobacco harm reduction, urging parties to consider the potential benefits of risk-proportionate regulations that protect public health while ensuring the availability of safer nicotine alternatives. You go, Nancy. So that was from Tobacco Reporter, by the way.
You know, I just looked briefly. I can't find it. Did you know the Action on Smoking and Health, ASH, was part of the writing of the FCTC treaty, United States?
Yes, that's why Clive.
Partial.
That's why Clive was one of the architects. He was there because he was the head of ASH.
For the U.S. or for
the UK? For ASH.
The UK.
Yeah.
Well, ASH U.S. It had a tweet. It's been a while. I can't find it at the moment. That they helped write it, and I was like, well, wait a minute. What about Article 1D, which doesn't ever go anywhere? It's like the Signer Amendment. Nobody wants to talk about it. But I found it funny that I didn't know that they wrote it until that tweet. I didn't know they helped.
They participated in the writing. Yes.
Participated. There we go.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just If nobody knew that, now you do. And if you did, well, you should have told me quicker.
Come on, Kevin. Where you been? Where you been?
Sleeping.
Yeah. So, Kevin, that concludes all of the vaping content, the harm reduction, the Zinsurrection. I'm gladly labeling myself a Zinfluencer.
Good.
Even though I don't actually have a single Zin product in.
I've never even seen a can of it.
I've seen them. I'm going to buy one now. I do have snus. I do have snus.
I keep as far away from when I get gas. I put my little discount card in because they want to track our purchases, and then I get my little discount and I get my little card and I put my gas and I drive the fuck away because I don't want to go in because it's too people-y in there anymore. But if I ever happen to go inside, and I won't do it at Kroger because I hate Kroger too, but when I'm grocery shopping, I want grocery.
See what I did? I vacuum sealed them.
Jeffrey.
I vacuum sealed my snus and then I put them in the freezer.
There you go. So when I do eventually walk into a Speedway or 7-Eleven, I guess bought them now, and I may or may not buy one. But
I got them selected.
Then I don't care. Yeah. Just so I can hold it up, like this one here that my son gave me like 2 years ago. I still never tried it, but anyway, there it is. It's 4 milligrams.
They're probably all dry out now. Well, if that's or if that's a nicotine pouch, it may not be.
It feels like a tin, but it sounds like it's plastic. I can't.
Yeah,
can't tell.
The expensive ones.
It's sealed, but anyway.
The expensive ones. These are the Scotch ones that I have.
I should have put
the
this
lids.
In the fridge,
the lids are steel, but the cans are no. These are all steel. Yeah,
I should have put it in the fridge. I guess I never even thought of it, but anyway. Yeah. He said, "Here, I got this for free. Do you want it?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take it for a prop." Yeah. I guess more than anything. But I saw, and this is a side note. Some of you have seen, maybe or maybe not, but most of you probably have seen the little chart that shows harm reduction, where over here is not smoking, and then you've got this, and this, and then cigarettes is at the other end. You guys know what that sliding scale that I'm speaking of, and if you don't, then there is one. And I saw the other day, again, a different version of it, but it looked similar. And they've got like abstinence, and then they've got snus, I think, and then they've got whatever they've got, patches, gums, and then they have e-cigarettes, and then they have smokeless. And I think whoever's in charge of that chart should put the smokeless before the e-cigarettes because you don't inhale smokeless. But I don't know. Anyway, that's my piece for the night.
I do know that some
people of risk. There you go.
I do know that some people, when they initially start using snus, they get a little burning up here where they which may cause like a canker sore or something event, but
right.
So they tell you to switch when you use them. Not always put them in the same place, and eventually you acclimate and you don't have the burning anymore. But I never experienced that. But some people do.
And but maybe that chart is right, Jeff, because it has more chemicals in
tobacco specific nitrosamines. Probably,
maybe that's why it's on that side.
Not in the nicotine pouches, but in the snuses, there might be some TNSAs in there.
Yeah, that might be why. So I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but maybe that's a maybe. That's I'd have to be more scientific in my research on the topic. But how do you want to say good night to our friends that are not going to follow us over to the Rumble?
Y'all have been like making me snicker and giggle and grin and watch how direct and scientific and data driven your tweets have been against the cop bullshit clown show that's down there in the Panamas. And I'm really impressed with that, and I really, really hope you guys continue to do it with everything in your lives, just like that. That was this week, off and on. I've just done the hashtag. I've clicked on the hashtag when I see it, and then I just put latest, and I go, oh, that's a good one. And then today I did the hashtag harm reduction, and then I saw who was tweeting about harm reduction for that hashtag, and then I saw who wasn't. And you fuckers who are allegedly smarter than everybody else were not. And that breaks my heart. So I applaud.
Did you both like insult and say, I don't get what you did. But anyway.
What? What are you talking about?
You're talking about you fuckers and you're disappointed in people. And
They're disappointed in the clowns down there. They don't say harm reduction.
No, they never say it. They don't want to acknowledge that those two words go together, Kevin.
But I saw,
it's in their founding documents, they still
don't read. They can't. Obviously, they can't. Clowns can't read.
Yeah. But all right, boys and girls, we are going to slip out of here and slip over into the Rumbles. We have four pieces tonight, so we won't be there very,
yay,
3 hours like we were last week, but. We'll be there.
No, I'll just click off and go to bed
for 4 coffees, or for not 4 coffees, but for four little articles, 4 little news pieces.
I'm getting coffee. Mallory, you're there. I know you're there.
Yeah, Mallory's
and Michelle's just cranking them out too.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm getting coffee.
Let's do like a little 1 minute and 30-second outro. Yeah, this one is Burr. This is Mr. Burr.
I certainly look forward to the science that's produced on this. I just caution you and our friends at CDC that if we kill technology and innovation, which is in essence what some are attempting to do with electronic cigarettes right at the beginning, just stop it, no more, shouldn't be sold, then innovation is not going to play a role in reducing the amount of Americans that smoke. It's just not. And I think it's safe to say that when I look at diabetes today, I look at other things that we would consider a public health epidemic. Innovation is going to give us the ability to do it. I don't think it's going to be by going out and limiting whether they can go to McDonald's and buy a double cheeseburger. And the CDC is not proposing that. It's going to be innovation. It's going to be driving technology. It's going to be coming out with products that allow us to turn around the problem they've got. I think that's what we're talking about here, and I look forward to the work you're doing. Thank you. Thanks.